Hey everyone, I am so excited for this video. This video is sponsored by Nordstrom and it's all about Nordstrom beauty. You know it's been one of my favorite places to buy makeup for a very long time. So I'm really excited to bring you this very focused small haul, and the idea of it was to stock up on some old favorites and grab a couple of new ones. One, well, I don't even want to spoil it, which I kind of did if you look at the thumbnail, but I'm gonna walk you through how I got all these products on my face and what they are. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So the focus of this video are some specific hero products that I will highlight as we move through this Get Ready With Me. But everything that you see here is of course from the Nordstrom Beauty department, and you should be familiar with many of the products I'm about to show you, starting with something from a recent haul. This is the Lancome Lip Balm. My lips are dry. This intense heat we're having in San Antonio is not doing my lips any favors. So let's let that sit while I get on the rest of my makeup. I have recently fake tanned. This is about as good as it's gonna get. So there will be some experimenting with some foundation, but no matter what foundation or skin tone I am, I always start with the Trish McEvoy Instant Eye Lift. It's a corrector technically, not a concealer. And I just picked up another tube. This shade is more of a peachy pink. There is a darker shade that is definitely more salmon in tone, obviously meant for darker skin tones, but even with fake tanning, this shade works just fine for me. You can see how bright and even that looks. If you're doing a no makeup kind of day, this and some tinted moisturizer, a little bit of powder, and some pinpoint concealing, and you are good to go. But I am not doing that. With the brush, I do like to pull it up into that inner corner because I get a lot of darkness there. And now we're gonna move into the foundation part of this party. I have two here. I'm not sure which one is going to work with my skin tone the best right now. This is a summer favorite. It's the Touche Eclat All-in-One Glow. It does have sunscreen SPF 23 in it. It says it's fresh and dewy. It has a more definite yellow undertone, which I prefer in my foundations. And then I also have my summer shade in the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Foundation. My summer shade is shade 4. Let's swatch a few of these. So here's the Magic. Pat it in a little bit. It's kind of a toss-up. I think it just sort of depends on what I feel like wearing today. The Charlotte Tilbury is actually blending into my skin a little bit better. It's disappearing, which is what I want it to do. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna put my glow away. Maybe I'll try another round of tanning before I pull that one out. And I'm going to pop this on, not a lot. It is still very, very warm out. And we'll talk about this product coming up because this is something I recently hauled. But the mirror on this is tremendous. So that's what I'm going to use today for my makeup mirror. And I'm going to pat it on first and then start dragging it around to blend. If you're wondering what I use to tan my face, I play with a lot of things from here down, but from the neck up, Saint-Tropez is my go-to. It's the only sunless tanner I've used on my face, like in the true sunless tanner form, like a mousse or a lotion that doesn't break me out. So I just go with their classic bronzing mousse and put that on a makeup brush and brush it all over my face. So that's what you see here. All right, let's go into concealer. So I still kind of want to brighten up a little bit here. And I recently purchased a brand new tube, I guess, yes, of one of my all-time favorite concealers. This is the Clarins Instant Concealer. I have it in the shade 1 Light. This is one of the few concealers I have that I am happy to use both underneath my eyes and anywhere on my face for blemishes. Right now it's a little too light for blemishes, but it's still perfect for under my eye. And what's fabulous about this formula, I cannot emphasize this enough, it does so much with so very little. It's a very thin formula, so it doesn't get cakey. And it is one of the, maybe the only concealer formula that I have that I can have a full face of makeup, powder setting, spray the whole 9 yards. As the day goes by, maybe I'll notice a blemish coming through or some sort of discoloration. I can pop a little bit on my finger, tap it right on top of all that layer, all the layers of makeup, and it doesn't get cakey. It still does a great job concealing. This stuff is amazing. So I'm gonna use it right now just under my eyes because I did get shade 1, which is too light for the rest of me right now. And that was too much. Go back with that same brush and kind of tap it in. I'm not going to bring it out in a triangle that is symmetrical. I'm going to angle it so more of the concealer is concentrated down the side of my nose. Just sort of brightens and lifts that whole center of the face. Now for any facial blemishes or discolorations, I have two concealers. One is another product I want to highlight, and I did just order it, but I ordered it in my regular shade and not my summer shade. And this is the Trish McEvoy Correct and Even Full Face Perfector. And this, again, has a very interesting formula. It is designed to both be a spot concealer. You can see the dome foot applicator here, but it also can be used dotted across a larger surface area and blended as a full face foundation. I'm not gonna reach for this one. I'm gonna reach for another old favorite. This is the Clé de Peau concealer in the shade Almond, I believe, yes. And I heard that they have released or are about to release some new shades. They're expanding the shade range, so that's kind of exciting because it was pretty, there weren't a lot of options, let's just put it that way. So I'm gonna go with this. I'm hoping it works. Yep, looks like it works. This is one of the best concealers. I keep saying this one's the best. They all have, to me, they all have a very specific use. So the Clarins Instant Concealer is great for me. My favorite use for it is touch up during the day. The Trish McEvoy concealer I just showed you, I think is the best for multi-purpose and for travel. This one, hands down, the best for blemishes. It's a creamy finish when you put it on. Obviously it's a stick concealer, but it blends in so beautifully and so effortlessly into the skin. For me, it's just a little too much under my eyes. They have a liquid version of this that's great for under the eyes. And I find it blends in the best using the warmth of your finger to pat it in. Before I move on to powdering, there's one more liquid product that I want to add. You've seen me use this and talk about this a million times. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I was going to say I'm not going to go crazy, but you know that I am. So I'm going to be contouring cheekbones, jawline, and a little bit of my nose. If I tip my head straight down, I mean, I've already drawn some, but you can see the line of where you want to put this. And then I'm gonna do it along my jawline to make things appear a little more firmer and chiseled. And then I really enjoy contouring my nose. I like to give the illusion that it is a little more narrow at the end. And to do that, you wanna kind of basically shade out the portions that are wider. And I'm gonna do that with this. So I'm just going to pat it first, keeping it concentrated on the back of towards closest to my ears. And then once I've sort of patted it in, so I'm not worried about blending out the pigment, I'll swirl it around. With the jawline contour, same concept, but sweep it down so you don't have a line of demarcation, and you can use it to sort of fake a little color on your neck. Now it's time to powder, and even though I have dry skin, and a lot of people with dry skin say not to powder, I prefer to powder because after the powder, I'm going to be putting on bronzer and blush and highlighter, and if I haven't set any liquid or cream products that are on my face, that powder's gonna stick, and it's not going to stick evenly. It'll make everything else look patchy. So first we set, and since I plan on going out into the almost 100-degree heat today, I'm reaching for one of my new favorite setting powders from Urban Decay, the All Nighter Setting Spray. It is also waterproof, which hopefully also translates into sweat proof. Now let's talk about this amazing product in this beautiful packaging that is so shiny. I'm scared it's not going to show up on camera. This is the latest release from Charlotte Tilbury in her airbrush line. It is the airbrush bronzer. It comes in, I think, 4 shades. I picked it up in medium. Let's take a look. This is medium. The fair or light is really light, which may be great in the wintertime, but I do want to add a little color. And what's wonderful about this particular bronzer, and this is gonna sound crazy, it's not particularly pigmented when you first apply it, which contradicts generally what we think of as good for makeup. But in a bronzer, you don't want to have too much on, better to build up. And this product builds up beautifully. You can keep it as sheer and light as you want, but if you wanna keep building and building and building, you can add layer after layer and it just blends seamlessly. And it's so matte. It's 100% matte, not that it's drying, but that it doesn't have any reflective qualities at all. So you can load on your highlighter, shimmery blush, and it's not going to conflict with the bronzer and just add too much glow. So that's why I like this one. And I love the huge mirror. I mean, that's enormous. And I have heard that you can buy refills for the powder, so you don't have to keep buying this huge case. But it's wide, but it's very, very thin. So it fits into a drawer very easily. Anyway, that's enough about the packaging. Let's put it on. Use a big fluffy brush, and I'm basically gonna go over the areas that I contoured, but I'm going to go above and below it and bring it across. I'm gonna bring it across my nose as if I was actually out in the sun. And I'm really gonna go to town on my hairline, because I didn't really do the best job of getting it into the fake tan. See, there's a little white patch. I didn't do the best job of getting it up into my hairline. If you want to use this as like an all over powder, you know, go maybe a shade lighter than usual, and you can really use this to warm up the face and match your face to your body. You can even bring it onto your body, because it says on the back for face and body. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just keep on going. I just think this is so beautiful, but I do want to add some highlight. I don't want it to be a banging bling on highlight. I am reaching for another Charlotte Tilbury product for that, and this is definitely an oldie. It's the Filmstar Bronze and Glow. Not going for the bronze today, but the glow part I am, and as you can see, it is a favorite. It is a pretty highlighter, but it's not like metallic and too much. And I'm just gonna keep it towards the back part of my face. I don't want too much on the front of it, because I do tend to perspire more in the center of my face, so I'm depending on that natural glow to kick in when I get outside. And then for blush, reaching for another favorite, the Buxom Wanderlust blush in the shade Mykonos. Probably as close as I'm ever gonna get to Mykonos. It's a beautiful blush. I was gonna say brush. Beautiful brush too, but the blush is beautiful, has primer built into it. It's a nice glow without any shimmer. I'm gonna pop off real quickly to do my brows. Nothing new there, an oldie but a goodie, the Trish McEvoy Precision. It is hard to be precise about saying that. The Precision Brow Shaper. Do that real quickly, and then we'll do eyes. So I got so excited to dive into my next stage that I forgot to hit record. So let me back up and talk about, pulled the bronzer back out because it is great for face, it is great for body because it blends so well. It's also great as a socket color, and that's what I did. I put it in the socket, and if you want a really simple, easy look, you could just with a fluffy brush blend it from lash line to socket line and just be an all over wash of color on your eyes, slap on some mascara and call it a day. You know I'm not gonna do that. So I started with it in my socket line and with a pencil brush put it underneath my lower lash line. And then I reached for my latest new palette I just picked up from Wander Beauty. Saw this on the Nordstrom site and had to have it. It is their Seascape palette, and these colors are just gorgeous. They just scream, well, going to the sea, the seaside, very beachy, pretty shades. And I had a debate with myself apparently because the camera wasn't on, but what shades to use. I love Seafoam. It's this greenish gold shade, and it looks green in the pan, but it's more of a soft gold on the lid. What I decided to do, I think, is do 3 shades across the lid. Start with Champagne Harbor, this lightest shade in the inner third, move on to Seafoam, and then blend it out to a Golden Reef. We'll see. So I already added the Champagne Harbor on the inner part of my lid. Now let's move on to Seafoam. And I'm overlapping a little bit where I had that first shade so that they can blend together. And as you can see, it's a very subtle difference as it moves. I think it's more easily seen in person. And you could definitely wet the brush if you want, I think, the green part to stand out more. And then I'm gonna flip that brush over and use the other side and dip it into Golden Reef. And again, I'm gonna go over a little bit where the green gold Seafoam is. I want it really soft. I can build this up and make it pretty dark, but that's not the look I'm going for. I do think these colors translate better when applied with a finger, so I am going back over with the green particularly, and I'll do the same for Champagne Harbor. I just in general feel like shimmer glittery metallic shades do better when applied with a finger. I'm gonna tie it all in. I am gonna reach for the one matte shade in the palette. It is called Sand Dollar. Just kind of lightly go back across the top of that crease and concentrate a little bit more on the outer part. Back to that pencil brush, dipping back into Sand Dollar, adding a little bit more underneath. Then here's my trick to angle it up. Just take my fingers and do that. All right, I need to curl my lashes and put on some mascara, and this is again a favorite, Trish McEvoy. This is the High Volume Mascara. I have it in jet black. The reason I love this so much, especially during the summer, it is a tubing mascara, meaning it only comes off with warm water. Otherwise, it's not gonna smudge or flake. So I'm gonna slap this on and I will be right back to show you the really cool luxury product I picked up for my lips. And now I think the highlight of my haul, the one piece I am the most excited to pick up, is in this little orange box. If you're familiar with Hermes products, I'm thinking they're leather goods. They are packaged in beautiful orange boxes, and that's a little out of my price range right now. But what is not is their new lipstick release. They have 2 new lipstick formulas, satin and matte. I picked one up in satin. Check this out. You pull it out of the box. It comes in its own dust bag. You have the seal, a beautiful gold seal on the tube itself. The tube is very pleasing to the eye. I went with a color that in hindsight, I thought this one was going to be a little more nude. The first word in the name is beige. The second word I can't pronounce. It'll be on the screen. I should have gone with one of the pinkier ones, but I did also want to jump out of my comfort zone. I always seem to buy the same shade of lipstick. So I'm going to put this on first, and then I'll see if I want a lip liner or anything. One more thing I should add, it's not a heavy, it's a well-made tube, but the tube itself is not too heavy and overwhelming. But I do love that it's magnetic, so it's never going to open in your purse. I have pulled out the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. Let me see, let me just try it a little bit on the bottom. Maybe for a little definition, wouldn't hurt. Yeah, that actually, I like that. Most times I'll put lip liner on before I put on the lipstick, but sometimes I like to just see how it looks first and then use the lip liner more as a way to keep it in place in case it moves. This is very creamy. And I do find that it blends better when it's put on adjacent and even into the lipstick. You don't have to worry about that lipstick line so much. So this is really pretty. And you know what? I am pleased with this color because now that I have a fake tan going, it really does feel beachy and summery and different than what I normally wear. So I am glad I went with something a little outside my comfort zone for this absolutely beautiful product. We aren't quite done. I do want to set it, an oldie but a goodie, the Urban Decay All-Nighter. Probably should have put this on before lipstick and mascara, but with tubing mascara, you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, now I'm all set, literally, and ready to head out. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me today. Thank you to Nordstrom for sponsoring this video. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you are all well. I hope you're all safe and happy. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video.